My name's Aaron. I'm 34, and for most of my adult life, if something went wrong, people called me. Car won't start? Call Aaron. ER visit? Aaron. Landlord banging on your door? Aaron. I wasn't the oldest in my family, not even close, but somehow I ended up being the one everyone leaned on. My mom used to joke that I was born with a clipboard, but it wasn't really a joke. I grew up in a house where chaos was the default. My father drank, my mother coped by pretending everything was fine, and my two younger sisters learned early that if they made enough noise, someone else would clean it up. Usually me. I learned to keep things together, to smooth things over, to make sure the bills got paid, the dogs got fed, the school forms got signed. It followed me into adulthood. Friends, coworkers, even neighbors started treating me like the human version of duct tape. If it was falling apart, I was supposed to hold it. And I did. Until one night when I really needed someone, and nobody answered. It started with a voicemail. It was from my sister, Lila. She was crying. Not dramatic crying, quiet, breathless panic crying. Aaron, I don't know who else to call. I think someone was in my apartment. I just got home, and the door was unlocked. I swear I locked it. Can you come? The timestamp said 11:42 p.m. I listened to it at 12:07. I called her back immediately. Straight to voicemail. I texted. Nothing. Lila lived across town, about 20 minutes away. I grabbed my keys and went anyway. Her apartment building was one of those converted brick warehouses with terrible lighting and echoey stairwells. When I got there, her door was shut. Locked. I knocked. Nothing. I used my spare key. She'd given it to me after a breakup years ago, just in case. The apartment was empty. No signs of a struggle. No broken glass. Just off. The couch cushions were moved. The bathroom light was on. Her phone was on the kitchen counter, face down. That was the first time I felt it. That slow, cold slide in your gut when something is wrong, but you don't know how wrong yet. I picked up her phone. It was unlocked. The last outgoing call was to me. The last text draft wasn't sent. It just said, "He knows I called you." I called the police. They took a report, asked questions, looked bored. "She's an adult," the officer said. "She could have just left." "She wouldn't," I said. "She was scared." They promised to keep an eye out. They didn't. Lila wasn't the first. 2 weeks earlier, my coworker Jamie had stopped showing up. Jamie was one of those people who always asked me to fix their computer, cover their shifts, help move furniture. He was flaky, but he always texted. Until he didn't. Then there was Mrs. Halloway, my elderly neighbor. I used to take out her trash and reset her router. One day her door was just open. The TV was on. Her walker was by the couch. She never came back. 3 people who relied on me. 3 people who disappeared. I tried to convince myself it was coincidence. Until my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. "Hello." There was breathing. Slow. Wet. Then a voice I didn't recognize. "You're very dependable, Aaron." My skin went cold. "Who is this? You always show up. That's why they chose you." "Who is they?" A soft chuckle. "Check your email." The line went dead. The email had no sender name. Just a blank address and a single attachment. A photo. It was taken inside Lila's apartment. From the hallway. Looking into her bedroom. She was sitting on the edge of the bed, head in her hands. The timestamp was from 30 minutes before I arrived that night. I called the police again. This time they took it seriously. They told me to stay somewhere safe. Somewhere with people. I laughed. I didn't have people. I had responsibilities. That night, I didn't go home. I stayed in a cheap motel by the highway. I locked the door, pushed a chair under the handle, and lay on the bed staring at the ceiling. My phone buzzed at 2:13 a.m. A text. "Did you make it somewhere safe?" I didn't reply. Another message came. "You always do what you're told. That's why you're special." Then, emergency contact. I blocked the number. 5 seconds later, another number texted me. Blocking doesn't help when you're on the list. I turned off my phone. That was my first mistake. I woke up to pounding on the motel door. "Aaron, open up." It was my mother. I opened the door, stunned. "How did you find me?" She looked confused. You texted me. Said you needed me. I pulled out my phone. Turn it on. There was a sent message at 1:58 a.m. Mom, I need you. Please come to the motel on 8th. Room 214. I hadn't sent it. I started. Then I saw her eyes. They were glassy, distant, like she was half asleep. Mom, I said. She blinked. You asked me to come. Something was very, very wrong. I tried to explain everything. The calls, the disappearances, the photo. She listened quietly. Too quietly. When I finished, she smiled just a little. You've always been so dramatic, Aaron. My blood went cold. That wasn't my mother's voice. She suddenly grabbed my wrist. You don't get to stop being useful. I shoved her away and ran. I didn't look back. I drove until my hands were shaking. I didn't know where to go. I didn't trust anyone. That was when I remembered something. At work, when you filled out HR forms, there was always that line. Emergency contact. I'd help half the office fill theirs out. I was on more of those forms than anyone should be. What if, whatever this was, wasn't just following me? What if it was using me? Using the web of people who depended on me? I went back to the office. It was empty, but HR was unlocked. I logged into the system, and I searched my name. Hundreds of entries came up. Dozens of people had listed me as the person to call when things went wrong. I wasn't just dependable. I was connected, and something had figured out how to move through those connections. Another email came in. You hold everyone together, so when we pull you, they fall apart. Attached was a video. Jamie, tied to a chair, alive. He looked straight into the camera. Aaron, he whispered. They told me if I didn't put you down as my emergency contact, they'd kill me. Behind him, something moved. Not quite human. Not quite anything. The video cut off. I don't know how long I sat there. 10 minutes. An hour. Then my phone rang. It was Lila's number. I answered. Aaron, she said softly. They say you're the only one who can stop it. Where are you? In the place where everyone ends up when no one comes for them. What do they want? They want you to choose. The line went dead. I still don't know what they were. I just know they fed on dependence, on obligation, on the invisible threads we tie ourselves with when we make ourselves indispensable. They weren't after me because I was special. They were after me because I was connected. I made a choice. I went back into the HR system, and I erased myself. Every form, every emergency contact, every place where my name was the backup plan. Then I did something worse. I changed my phone number, my address, my email. I disappeared. The messages stopped. The calls stopped. But so did the people. Jamie was never found. Neither was Lila. Or Mrs. Halloway. Sometimes I wonder if they're still out there, trapped in whatever limbo those things keep their contacts in. I live somewhere new now. I don't give out my number. I don't help people move. I don't stay late. I don't offer to fix things. I let things break. Because I learned something the hard way. When you make yourself everyone's emergency, you become someone else's resource. And something out there is always looking for resources.